I don't know how much of this is bad suspension or luxurious overboosted power steering, but when I flick the wheel, like in a parking lot and I'm turning around, you notice it still does that. In every other vehicle I've driven recently, it's like, as soon as you let go of the wheel, it just stops like that. But instead, it just returns back a little quickly. Yeah, that might be an issue. As you're going to see, the steering isn't exactly tight in this car. Driving down the road here, I'm just going to do this a little bit. I'm still going straight. Still going straight. Car's wiggling a little bit now, but I'm still going straight. Still going straight. And also, because of this extra smooth power steering, all this plays in the wheel that I can do with my finger, and I'm still going straight. I can just move it with my pinky because it's just that smooth. And then also, I can just kind of set the steering wheel wherever I want. It just kind of doesn't return to center really. It just stays in the spot wherever you put it. One finger power steering, and yeah. I know this is you're supposed to not feel that the steering wheel is even connected to anything, but this seems a little bit extreme. Let me get it. Right in here. Thinking it takes someone to play out. And I see her shaking the other wheel too a little bit from all the looseness going on here. I think there's too much looseness. I have a slight amount of slack, but there's just, especially the idler and pitman arm. You can see the idler arm moving up and down. It's wasted motion. That moves too. Let's see, this one here is real bad too. That goes in the pitman arm. Can you see that? That's outrageous. One day that would just fall off. You lose all your steering. I shouldn't even be able to do that. Wow. It turns, but it shouldn't turn that freely. Inner and outers aren't horrible. They're real loose, but they're not sloppy like this. Okay, so I got the wheels aligned now that the new parts are on, and it took them 4 tries to align it so that it was mostly straight. And as you can see, it has kind of tilted to the right to be centered. The problem is they would have it straight on the alignment rack, and for whatever reason, whenever they took it on the road to make sure everything was all set in place, something would shift or settle in the steering, what else is left besides the steering box really, and it would cause the wheel to go off center. And so after 4 tries, this is the best they could do while still making it mostly straight, and it drives straight everything, just the wheel's off center. So that's still part of the problem, as you'll probably see later in the video. It's not completely tight like a race car, but it's probably not supposed to be in the first place. It's probably closer to what it was from the factory. you know, 28 years ago or 24 years ago or whatever. I've noticed right away that it is more responsive. It has more feedback when you're turning around corners. The steering wheel, like, it has more resistance. It's not just like go wherever you want and the steering wheel just won't say anything about it. It has more resistance against your input. Gives it more feeling, especially when turning around corners, and there's a lot less on-center play, as you'll see later in the video too. Now I'll do the test where I flick the wheel around. And that's probably just how it is with the how much boosting is in the power steering. Yeah. It's just too overboosted to do anything about that, I guess. Yeah, somebody just created suspension. That's not the steering then. Okay, so gonna be driving down the same road here that I was earlier in the video. Gonna do the same tests. From what I've seen so far, it's definitely like there's a lot of the stuff that's going wrong. It's just how the steering is. No matter how much you fix it, it's just gonna be like that. But I know that the main thing that the steering issues fixed was just the on-center play. A lot of the other stuff is just because it's just too overboosted. That's how it's supposed to be from the factory. There's not much I can do about that. So I'll start off with this test, and immediately I'm already like wandering all over the road just by doing this, whereas before I would still go straight. The on-center play has been really reduced. It's like this is what I'm doing to steer the car now. There's really only this much on-center play, and that's a pretty good improvement over how it was before. So that's really, there's still the luxurious one-finger power steering, but it's less ridiculous of how much steering you can just input there and to go all over the road now. Yeah. On-center play is pretty much, this is what I'm doing to steer the car now. So that's a pretty good improvement. Now I have a chance to avoid a deer that jumps on the road. I'm not completely hopeless like I was before. And now the steering wheel returns to center more than it did before. Before I could like just set it in any range, like any 5-degree range off center, and it would still be going straight, but not anymore. Now every little input I make has some kind of influence on where I'm steering. So I think it's a pretty good improvement.